65 minutes separate these two schools. Belmont from outside Nashville, Tennessee, and Western Kentucky in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They travel on I-65 now for the sixth straight year, and Belmont has won every one of these recent meetings. A matchup tonight of two teams, both picked to win their respective conference. The Ohio Valley for Belmont and Conference USA for Western Kentucky. And welcome courtside here at EA Diddle Arena on the campus of Western Kentucky University. Noah Kozlov alongside the former Liberty star Tim Scarborough. Tim, on this court 3 weeks ago, everything big man, the five-star recruit, the sophomore All-American Charles Bassey, suffered a season-ending leg injury. That was 3 weeks ago. They played one game since. It was last week against Rhode Island, and a lot now has have to be put on the guards, and one of them is a player to watch in Tavion Hollingsworth.
And we know what Tavion can do. He's a preseason all-conference player. He is the leading scorer left on the floor, but they'll need him to not just be a scorer, but distribute. His numbers are there, but as a third-year starter, they really need him to step up and pick up the scoring load, but more importantly, get other people's shots as well.
Then we'll get to the Belmont side of things as soon as our national anthem is complete here at EA Diddle Arena.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and
a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and so let's get back into the Belmont side of things. And they've dealt with losses of their own, just of a very different variety from Charles Bassey. Rick Byrd, after 33 years, no longer the head coach. Dylan Windler, the number 26 overall pick in last year's NBA draft. Kevin McClain is gone, the all-league guard, but to no surprise on Belmont's campus, this guy, Adam Kunkel, has been the difference.
And no one from Belmont is going to feel sorry for Western not having their All-American. As you mentioned, well-documented, Dylan Windler, one of the best players in the OVC in a while. They lose him, but Adam Kunkel is a guy that has stepped his game up. 16.5-point scoring jump year over year to lead the nation in that category, averaging nearly 19 points a game. 44% from downtown. They'll need him to be dynamic from three tonight.
Well, now that Louisville and Kentucky is over, the entire state can focus its attention right here. Belmont, Western Kentucky, next on Stadium. And we're back inside Diddle Arena on the campus of Western Kentucky University. Noah Kozlov, Tim Scarborough, our stadium crew for an Ohio Valley Conference USA matchup, the non-conference finale for both these two teams. Take a look at this evening's starters. Familiar faces for Belmont. Grayson Murphy, there's Adam Kunkel in his 19 points per game. Michael Benkert, Tyler Scanlon, the grad transfer from Boston University, and the big man in the middle, Nick Muzinski, Josh Anderson, Cameron Justice, Tavion Hollingsworth, Jared Savage, and Carson Williams, the five for Western Kentucky. In his first season as head coach, Casey Alexander, the 47-year-old, as his Belmont Bruins off to an 8-4 start, the 1995 graduate. from Belmont, and Rick Stansberry, the 59-year-old in his 4th season here in Bowling Green. 69-46 as the head coach of the Hilltoppers. Our officials, Tim Gaddis, Brent Hampton, and Roger Ayers. 10 on the floor, everybody else with a nice view, and we're underway here at Western Kentucky. In the road blues, Belmont, the home whites for the Hilltoppers.
Belmont has won the last 6 meetings. So you know Western, even though they don't have their All-American, they love to snap that streak today.
Belmont moving the ball around quickly as they do around the perimeter, under 10 on the shot clock. Scanlon looking inside. Instead, it's Kunkel for 3. Around and out, Josh Anderson, the rebound.
And both these teams will push the issue, both averaging in the 80s. That was with Charles Bassey, although they did score 82 points versus Rhodey in the loss on the road without Charles Bassey last week.
A lot of that had to do with Carson Williams, his career high, where he finished with 26 points, career high 14 rebounds. There whistled for the travel.
And they are considerably smaller, with Williams, number 22, at 6'5", replacing the 6'11", Charles Bassey.
So trying to take advantage of it, Muzinski, but he took some steps.
And a few weeks ago, this would have been billed as a battle between 33 Muzinski and Charles Bassey right there. But as you see, Charles, no services for him for at least 6 to 9 months is what they're saying his recovery time will be. And as a result, Muzinski could have a big day today because there's really no one else in the Western Kentucky program who can handle him.
Turnover each on both sides. Back low to Williams. Williams spinning around Muzinski. No, the tip, no. And the big man, 33, has the rebound.
Awfully difficult to shoot over 6'11".
Scanlon saves it, but right to Anderson. And then Anderson lost it.
How about that pass?
From his seat, cross court to Tavion Hollingsworth.
On the money, though. He had Jared Savage, but he wanted to get it into his point guard's hands.
Hollingsworth,
Beautiful.
6. Big.
If you're a Western Kentucky fan, you've seen that a few times. An array of moves by Hollingsworth.
And another turnover the other way for Belmont.
Quick spin and a little smooch off the glass, second look, and that's a pretty solid defender guarding him in Bankert, but he left him in the dust. Beautiful finish as well.
Hollingsworth has Murphy on him. Hollingsworth pulls up middle of the lane, too strong. Grayson Murphy, the guard at 6'2", grabs 8 rebounds per game.
Remarkable from the 2-guard position, being able to rebound like that night in and night out. That's exceptional effort.
Scanlon for 3, and that's how Belmont gets on the board.
There is something that you want to watch tonight, as Belmont, a prolific three-point shooting team. And on the other end, Western not so much, and that step back is going to get called every time now. Cannot get away with that anymore. That's been a point of emphasis this year. The officials at the officials clinic, they actually talked about that at great length, calling that step back. They want to legislate that out of the game, at least at the college level. NBA, James Harden, feel free.
5 turnovers combined through 3 minutes of basketball. Murphy in the corner, thought about it. Has 10 on the shot clock.
They'll have to give Williams help in the post when this ball dives in. Look for several white shirts to collapse, but this is the poison you choose. You leave snipers on the perimeter.
Collapse on the big man, kick out to the shooters, and Grayson Murphy has 3 in Belmont with a 6-2 lead. Western Kentucky 7-4, 4-0 on their home floor. Belmont 8-4, 3-3 on the road. Cameron Justice, the grad student, up with the left hand.
That was a solid move. Starts with the shot fake, but if you're Belmont, I would invite those 3-point shots early because, again, Western not the greatest shooting 3-point team. They only make about 7 per game.
Kunkel through the lane, crowd wanted to travel, and Kunkel gets two instead. Hollingsworth. Too strong. Williams, an offensive rebound. Savage will give it a shot. Too strong.
Jared Savage, #2, a steadying factor at both ends. When he's playing well, Western's playing well. But again, a tardy rotation, a no-no against this team.
Belmont 3 for 4 from 3. That's Benkert with the 3, and it's 11-4. The Bruins in front.
They shoot 37% from downtown as a team, and they make 11. They are exceptional on that perimeter.
Williams up against Musinski. Musinski forced him to take a tough shot.
Giving up so much size and length. Musinski doesn't have to block the shot, but he certainly can alter it and change the results.
About 5 minutes gone by in the first half. Tyler Scanlon has it poked away. Back comes Savage. Hollingsworth. Justice, little head fake, got Kunkel in the air. And Western Kentucky will get a fresh 20.
One of the shot clocks is not in sync. And so as a result, we'll take a break.
One of the shot clocks went to 30, one stayed at 20 on the offensive reset. Belmont with 3 threes, there's one of them. A 7-point lead for the visitors. Well, as Western Kentucky head coach Rick Stansbury said, you can't make excuses. But he certainly has one in losing Charles Bassey, a tibial plateau fracture in his left leg. It's the upper shin knee joint area, out 6 to 9 months, which he suffered right here on December 7th against Arkansas. I was watching the game live, saw it happen, and you knew it was ugly right from the start.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, but you look at those numbers and those accolades, he clearly deserved all of those and then some. Also preseason All-Conference USA as well. All-American. You look at him versus Adam Kunkel. Both those guys were freshman All-Americans. So that was not Kunkel, but Musinski. That was going to be a great matchup in the paint. But unfortunately, we get robbed of that due to that injury. But Western still with enough tools in the shed to get the job done in Conference USA play, in my opinion.
And one of those being Jordan Rawls, the freshman from Chattanooga, Tennessee, off the bench, a point guard. Gets a quick 2. Scanlon misses. Hollingsworth back with the rebound.
Jordan Rawls, #3, allows 11 Tavion Hollingsworth to play off the ball there. He got tripped, no foul call.
Matt Horton, 14 in white, also into the game for the first time. Savage blocked. Horton there for the putback.
Adelsberger, great block. But what happens when a shot blocker goes to block the shot? No one's boxing out his man, and Horton takes advantage.
Nick Hopkins, 14 in blue, into the game. Also Seth Adelsberger, #50, with Musinski taking a seat. Scanlon is fouled by Savage. One of those numbers not shown on the graphic for Charles Bassey, the 3.9 GPA, so he has been a great student in high school, and that is carried over here in college at Western Kentucky.
And that brings up an interesting dynamic, right? Because he was a guy that could have gone out of high school but had to go to college for 1 year, entered the draft, but because of the new rules, he didn't get an agent. He was allowed to come back to Western, and now here he is in his 2nd year, progressing nicely towards a college degree. Next year, he'll probably come back because of the injury. That's 3 years. A lot of guys with his caliber of intelligence can finish school in 3 years, you know, with some summer classes and so forth.
Horton with the left hand. Stands at 6'11", has only played 44 minutes this season.
Yeah, when you think about it, they picked him up because they thought Charles Bassey may go to the NBA. When he came back, that gave them 2 7-footers. Now Horton pressed into duty.
And Kunkel is going to be whistled for the offensive foul.
And Coach Rick Stansbury loves the defense right there on that play. He popped off that bench and pumped his fist. That's exactly what they wanted. They want those shooters to drive, and then they want to seal off those drives with with great team help, and that was a great job that time on display. This is Rawls here, number 3, on the point right now with Tavion Hollingsworth leaving the game.
Anderson carried it.
Roger Ayers, the veteran official, with the eagle eyesight. Rick Stansbury doesn't like it, but I think it was a good call. You put your hand underneath that ball and dribble it again. We see a lot of people get away with that, even at this level. At that time, Anderson called for it.
Ben Shepard in 22 for Belmont. Nick Muszynski also re-enters. He's looking for the basketball against Horton.
And there won't be a double here now because Horton at 6'11" can stay with him.
Muszynski, boy, is that good.
At least that's what they think. Because he got abused on that one. Great move by Muszynski.
Justice, short. Scanlon the rebound.
Let's see if they go back to Muszynski, and let's see if they help on him this time.
Hopkins for 3, it's good. 4 for 6. Belmont has started from deep, and they've got their largest lead at 8. Jordan Rawls with the basketball. Career high 29 minutes, no turnovers against Rhode Island. He wants it back here with 7 on the shot clock. Pulls the trigger for 3 off the back iron. Up for the rebound, Anderson, and he'll go to the line for the 3-point play. 16-10 Belmont. Bruins doing it from outside. Western Kentucky looking for it on the inside. 16-10 Belmont in front, 11:37 to go. Here in the first half, Belmont 4 of 6 from 3. But they're also getting it done on the inside.
Well, this is the impact of Muszynski. Roll it here. When he catches it, now freeze it here. He's looking over his shoulder to see if this guy or this guy is going to come down and double. Once he sees that they don't double, it's him going to work. Now roll it. Now he sees it. Now he says, it's me and you on the island, buddy. I got a lot of space to operate. Here, go to school. Take it right to the rim. No help. That's what Muszynski's going to do. We saw earlier when Muszynski caught the ball, they double teamed him and he kicked it out to Scanlon or Murphy for a wide open 3. So it's choose your poison. Sometimes they're going to double, sometimes they're not going to double. When they have a 6'11" post player in there, they're not going to double. But again, he was able to score if you don't double.
Well short on the free throw from Josh Anderson. Kunkel and Scanlon.
2-3 zone now. We talked to Rick Stansbury before the game. He said he would do some of this. He did a lot of this versus Rhode Island because of their ability to drive the basketball.
Ball is poked around. The long rebound comes down to Western Kentucky. That's a tough shot. Missing for 3. Jeremiah Gambrell off the bench and wearing number 10 in white.
Yeah, and that's kind of a shot that, you know, you think about, he's only averaging 4.3 minutes a game. Now he's going to get more time in the absence of Bassey. Extremely confident to pull the trigger from that point. And here comes the double. And again, there's no 6'11" player on him. So when he catches it now, he's going to get double.
An air ball from Scanlon in the corner. Back comes Gambrell. Gambrell all the way to the basket, a bit out of control, and Kunkel's going to be whistled for his second personal foul. And Gambrell got bailed out.
An aggressive play again. Talk about confidence. The redshirt freshman from Houston, Texas. He's made 3 of his 4 shots that he's made this season have been from downtown, so he's not afraid to shoot from 3. That time taking it to the rim and getting a little help from the officials.
So Battlesburger back into the game. Muszynski out.
So number 14, Horton, that we saw at 6'11", will get a little bit more playing time with Bassey in Bassey's absence. But Gambrell, number 10, who just missed that free throw, will also get some more time.
Mason Murphy back in the game. Kunkel sits with 2 personal fouls.
Now the 1-3-1 shown, and it flattens out to a 2-3. I like to call that the Kermit Davis 1-3-1.
Three-pointer from Binker. Just a bit outside.
Kermit Davis, of course.
Oh, Anderson couldn't finish against Adelsberger.
Ooh, took an extra step there.
Scanlon got away with it.
Kermit Davis, of course, used to be the head coach at Middle Tennessee, a rival of Western Kentucky. They call it 100 miles of hate between those 2 schools. Now, of course, he's at Ole Miss.
Anderson.
Here we go.
Could be a highlight.
There's very few people who can fly the friendly skies like that young man.
Nearly got another steal. Murphy to the hoop.
But that gamble cost him because Anderson going for that steal and missing it gave Murphy a wide open path to the basket.
(20-13), Belmont in front, just under 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Rolls around and out.
I feel like that's a travel as well because he picks up his pivot foot when he spins before he releases the ball. Got away with that one.
Murphy. Back comes Williams.
To me, Belmont is remiss not throwing it in there. I know Muzinski's not on the floor right now, but they still have the size advantage in the post. Seth Adelsberger is 6'10", 6'11" as well, 50.
Anderson thought about the 3, a few dribbles at the free throw line, going into the lane and goes high off the glass. Josh Anderson from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where they are celebrating Joe Burrow's 493 yards and 7 touchdowns today.
He had most of that in the first half, right?
Straightaway 3, no good from Nip Hopkins.
Anderson looks a little tired now. You know, the minutes will be logged by this top 6 or 7 guys. They're not going to go very deep in there into their bench, Rick Stansbury in Western Kentucky.
Gambrell, yikes.
He got hit there, though.
Just wasn't sure what to do with it, and Rick Stansbury telling him, it's all right, gain the confidence, youngster.
Oh, he's got the confidence.
There's Josh Anderson with a team-high 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Western Kentucky trailing 20-15, but we just saw the good and the bad from Josh Anderson.
There's nobody in the Conference USA, in my opinion, more electric than this guy in transition. Watch him take off, leap, get the crowd into the game. But then he got a little anxious on the very next play. He gambled, taking himself out of the play and cost himself 2 points. An easy drive to the bucket, no help because they didn't want Murphy to dish that off for a dunk. So they give up the 2 points, but it starts with Anderson gambling and missing on that steal attempt. Josh Anderson has been a terrific player as a freshman and a sophomore, and now as a junior. He's a dynamic player, specifically in transition. Pretty solid on-ball defender too, but sometimes a little anxious trying to get those dunks. Boy, are they small now. Jared Savage, number 2 in the paint, guarding Muzinski at 6'5".
Mitch Listow into the game for the first time also. Good defense from Western Kentucky, forcing up the shot as the shot clock expired. Back comes Hollingsworth working against Murphy. Will set things back up with Justice and Rawls.
Western just 7 for 22 from the field, but yet they only trail by 5 points.
0 for 7 from 3. Carson Williams, strong take. Carson Williams from about 3 hours from here, close to Louisville, Owenston, Kentucky.
You cannot go for shot fakes if you're Belmont. Stay down.
Hopkins right back, no. Uzinski hands off to Listow, and he's fouled.
That was a good pass, but to me, Uzinski has to power that back up and either dunk it or get fouled.
Got a very special New Year's Day hoops matchup on Facebook. Fresno State against the 15th ranked San Diego Aztecs at 3 p.m. Eastern on January 1st. It's on Facebook, so it's a full conversation. Doug Gottlieb and Jeff Goodman will be on the call, and they'll answer any hoops questions you may have on Facebook. Stadium, welcome to the game. All right, Dutchers, Aztecs undefeated, ranked 15th in the country. Williams, three is off the mark. Back comes Belmont right to left, the 4-point lead.
There's only two other teams undefeated in the nation, Auburn and my alma mater, Liberty.
Uzinski, no.
Liberty's down in Baton Rouge this weekend. Thankfully, they're not playing football against them because that would get ugly.
Savage lost it out of bounds. Fourth turnover for Western Kentucky in this first half. You know, when we first met, you used to say, yeah, I went to Liberty, it's this school in North Carolina.
Virginia.
Or in Virginia, I'm sorry. And now you say Liberty, and say, oh, yeah, of course, we know Liberty.
Brand recognition. Oh, that's a great pass.
Listow. Pushed off.
And you know, you see the crowd that Uzinski draws the second he catches it. The last couple of plays, though, he hasn't really thrown the ball out. He's found the right person, but he hasn't given a shooting pass. And that's a real difference, because if you're going to throw it out there and you throw it at the guy's feet, you give the defense time to recover, and now you don't have that advantage that you once had with him passing and finding the right person.
Who does such a low-scoring first half favor?
To me, both these teams want to play in the 80s, but obviously the home team, Western, shooting as poorly as they have, you have to figure that they're not going to continue to shoot it so poorly. So I think it favors Western right now.
33% from the floor, 8 for 24, 0 for 8 from 3. Hollingsworth, a wild shot. Uzinski, the rebound.
I believe the streak is 1,021 straight games that they've made at least one three-pointer. So start to think about that being in jeopardy if you're a Western fan.
So the foul is on here. 11 is Hollingsworth. That's his second. J.C. Alexander replacing Rick Byrd after 33 years. Alexander spent 2 years at Stetson in the Atlantic Sun, then spent 6 years at Lipscomb, Belmont's rival.
Of course, he played here at Belmont, played for Rick Byrd, and was an assistant coach at Belmont for a few years.
16 of them, 16 years. After graduating, Hopkins, a second chance opportunity. Then Hopkins gets it right back.
That's where you miss a rim protector and shot blocker, at least some size in there. That was just an uncontested putback by a guard in the paint.
Walls, well short.
That was the longest rebound of the year right there. That thing came out almost a half court before someone picked it up.
On the rebound, we're going to have a foul called on Western Kentucky.
Look at Savage, number 2.
Foul is on Anderson.
Anderson, okay.
That's his first. So 20 on the shot clock for Belmont. Grayson Murphy, along with Tate Pearson, who's been battling some food poisoning, but playing through it here.
That can't be fun.
Listow well off the mark. Anderson up for the rebound. Under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. 23-17 Belmont. And Anderson throws it away. Belmont, the preseason #1 in the Ohio Valley Conference. Just one more non-conference game before conference season begins. 6-point lead for Belmont on Thursday. Holy Cross visits Loyola, Maryland, and you can catch that game at 7 Eastern on Stadium. The only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium. Welcome to the game. If you like live games, Stadium's the place to be. There's always a game on. This one, Western Kentucky and Belmont, the final non-conference game for both these two schools. Western Kentucky will begin their Conference USA schedule on Thursday against North Texas, then Saturday here at home against Rice. And then for Belmont, their schedule starts on Thursday in the OVC against SIU Edwardsville, and then Saturday against Eastern Illinois. And there is that 3-point active streak. That's 1,021 straight games with a 3-pointer made, 5th in the country.
You saw Duke was #3 on there. They missed all their 3-pointers in the first half today as well versus Brown.
Scanlon not missing that. That's his second 3 of the evening.
Scanlon has been a welcome addition. Former quarterback and all-state quarterback and all-state forward/guard in the state of Virginia coming out of high school. That is exceptional.
With a standout career in the Patriot League of Boston University, Carson Williams. And he'll go to the free throw line. In about 3.5 minutes for Western Kentucky with not a point. That foul was on Grayson Murphy. His first. It sends Carson Williams to the free throw line to shoot 2. A 74% free throw shooter hits the first.
Belmont's a pretty decent defensive team, but this isn't Belmont. This is Western trying to figure out things offensively without Charles Bassey right now.
In just one game in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, it might be a little rough.
They had an exhibition game, but just one game, and it was that game last Saturday, an overtime loss at Rhode Island. One game in the last 3 weeks since Bassey's been hurt. Scanlon gets it to fall. Back-to-back threes for the transfer.
You knew that Belmont wasn't going to stay cold for long. They had a nice little stretch there where I feel like Western had an opportunity to really kind of take
for the offensive foul.
Scanlon, right place, right time. But this is why you love juniors, seniors, and even fifth-year guys and grad transfers, because they understand how to play basketball. As you look at the three-point numbers, Belmont has knocked down 6 here in the first half already, and Western is 0 for 9. And it's been a series of guys who have squeezed the trigger, but none have been able to find the mark.
Murphy averages 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and 2 steals per game. Gets it over to Scanlon, down low Muzinski. Little baby hook, no, gets it right back, and it's easy.
That was the first time they really didn't guard Muzinski with a double team without a 7-footer on the floor. And they cost him.
Hilltoppers 0 for 10 from 3. Justice the steal. Doesn't have numbers, a little off balance runner, and it falls.
Savage nearly touched that, which would have wiped away a great play by Cameron Justice.
Minute 42 to go here in the first half. A 10-point lead for Belmont. Shoot around on their home floor today in Nashville, made their way across on I-65 from Nashville to Bowling Green, Kentucky. 3 is long from Ben Shepherd. Justice has the loose ball.
Western has to try to find opportunities in transition. Not that way, the other way.
Grayson Murphy. He averages 2 steals per game, and there's one of them, and he converts it.
That was a pick 6 right there. Now a 2-3 zone deployed by Belmont.
Doing all of this with Adam Kunkel on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. He played just 8 minutes in the first half. Averages 19 points per game. And his team is in front by 12 with a minute to go.
His counterpart on the other side, Tavion Hollingsworth, has 2 fouls and has only played 9 minutes.
Rawls in the corner. Savage for 3. They need it. It's short. And Belmont calls timeout with 45 seconds to go in the first half and 24 on the shot clock. Something Grayson Murphy does so well. His brother Patrick is 15 on Western Kentucky. This one goes Tu's way.
And what a great steal in transition. What turned out to be a decent scoring opportunity for Western turned into a sure thing at the other end for Belmont. It's a great defensive play by Grayson.
Murphy's father, Scott, played at Austin P in the 80s, where Rick Stansbury was an assistant coach. Head coach Lake Kelly. Also on that team was Jordan Rawls' father, Keith, was their leading scorer with 20 a game.
Such a small basketball world, isn't it?
Everybody's connected somehow. Back in that zone, Hopkins for 3.
Who are you going to call? Zone busters. These guys will shoot you out of the zone quickly.
Nick Hopkins went 0 for 6 from 3 on Saturday in Belmont's 21-point loss to Alabama.
Yeah, he's only a 29% three-point shooter on the season as a junior. He knocked that one down. That was cash money.
Shot clock, game clock nearly identical. Rolls, and Western Kentucky has its first 3 of the half on its 12th attempt.
So the streak is safe.
And that's what they'll take into the locker room with Belmont in front 36-24. But they were in desperate need from that 3, and Jordan Rawls delivered. Western Kentucky just 33% from the floor. Belmont 41% from downtown. The visitors, a 12-point lead at break.
Welcome into the stadium studio. We're going to get you back out to the action in just a few minutes, but right now we wanted to go through some notable storylines from Western Kentucky, including some football awards that the Hilltoppers have been racking up. Tyson Helton, who served as WKU's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in 2014-15, returned to lead the program to an 8-4 record this season, which includes a 6-2 mark in Conference USA play. The Hilltoppers, who finished 3-9 last season, are tied for the 3rd largest improvement in FBS with a 5-game win increase. WKU was picked by conference media members in the preseason to finish 5th in the East Division, but finished tied for 2nd place. Defensive recognition went to junior defensive end D'Angelo Malone, who is 2nd in the conference in sacks and 3rd nationally in tackles for loss.
And it's a little pitch to Antoine. Stutter steps, but he's brought down in the backfield by guess who? D'Angelo Malone.
He registered at least 1 tackle for loss in all but 1 game this season and has recorded 97 lost yards on sacks.
Here's the blitz. It's another handoff, and Blackman gobbled up in the backfield for a huge loss on the play.
Malone leads all FBS defensive linemen with 90 tackles this season. The league's newcomer of the year went to quarterback Ty Story, a grad transfer from Arkansas. Story started 9 games, leading the Hilltoppers to a 7-2 record in that time.
Story with the pocket collapsing, float to the back of the end zone, touchdown to Quinn Sloan.
He finished the regular season with a league-best 70.1 completion percentage, throwing for over 2,200 yards and 12 touchdowns with just 5 interceptions.
Story over the middle, Pearson, goal line, touchdown, Hilltoppers in the lead.
He also ran for 6 scores and caught a touchdown. And as every Hilltopper fan knows, another Western Kentucky star is Big Red. But who or what is Big Red?
A
blob. He's a red blob. I mean, it's hard to explain, honestly.
Big Red is a blob.
Big Red is an amorphous blob.
I didn't know before I got there, but come to find out he's a big blob, big red blob.
I give Big Red handshakes, hugs. We might dance every now and then on site when we see each other, you know. It's always a good time when we see Big Red.
Just amazing ball of joy.
Here is the full list of award winners for the CUSA football season.
At the half here at Diddle Arena on the campus of Western Kentucky, the home team trailing Belmont 36-24, trying to snap a 3-6 game losing streak in this series. And welcome back courtside, Noah Kozlov alongside the former Liberty star Tim Scarborough. So I don't know what was on your Christmas list, but did you get everything you wanted?
I didn't really get anything because it's about the kids right now. So all the effort was to get Nicholas and Kendall everything they wanted, and they told me I was a good dad because we did just that.
But there was nothing on your list?
It wasn't just me, though.
Nothing on your list?
No, I didn't want anything.
All right, well, if there's still something on your list, I think our fan of the game might be able to deliver it. He's had a really long week before he heads back to the North Pole.
Yeah, it wasn't just me taking the credit. I think he had a little bit to do with my kids liking their Christmas as well, right?
Let's take a look at some scores around Conference USA. These are real, too. UAB 82-49 over Thomas University. Our Lady of the Lake, I had them getting 37, so that's good. As they fall to UTSA 99-64. Minnesota an 89-62 win over FIU. Be down in Miami in early February, and North Texas dominates Texas Wesleyan. North Texas will be here on Thursday against Western Kentucky for the start of CUSA play. Highlights when we come back. Belmont plus 12 at half, 36-24, and a lot has to do with the three-point shooting. They make 11 per game in the first half here, Tim. They went 7 for 17.
Not a bad first half. They'll need more of that. But, you know, they played through Nick Buzinski in the paint. But early on, Scanlon was able to knock that one down, the transfer from BU. Then Murphy got into the act from downtown. But then, guys, you really don't expect to contribute that much from three. Michael Bankart and Nick Hopkins got into the act. Scanlon was able to drain that one, but it all starts because they're able to get the ball in the paint. And those kickouts to the three-point snipers have been effective for Belmont.
That's a big part of their 12-point lead. We'll have the second half when we come back from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Western Kentucky's lowest scoring first half was 23 against Louisville, just 24 here tonight. They trail 36-24. Turnovers, 7 for Western Kentucky, and it led to 12 points for Belmont.
Yeah, but this is the story right here. And Western generally is not going to beat you from downtown, but they can't allow 7 more threes to go in the second half. They have to do a better job at the defensive end of guarding against what Belmont does. And Western Kentucky does a solid job against three-point shooting, but they gave up a few too many here in that first half. Let's see how it plays out here in the second.
Cameron Justice. Loose ball, Carson Williams the rebound. It's Hollingsworth, Justice, Williams, Anderson, and Savage on the floor for Western Kentucky. Adam Kunkel averages 19 a game. Number 5 for Belmont played just 8 minutes in the first half and 2 personal fouls. Justice, Hollingsworth wants it, called for it, got it, and hits for 3.
Pretty solid possession right there. We had a lot of ball movement, a lot of touches. We got dribble penetration and a catch and shoot 3 splashdown from Tavion Hollingsworth, who was also saddled with 2 personals.
Justice just ripped it away from Benkert. Hollingsworth. And it's a quick 5-0 run for Western Kentucky. Benkert answers for 3 right in front of his own bench.
And that's a big shot because it doesn't take a lot to get this building roaring. And we really kind of felt like they were really into it with those first 2 possessions. But that was a silencer from downtown by Benkert.
Benkert, Muzinski, Murphy, Scanlon, and Kunkel. Hollingsworth rounding out. Benkert the rebound. Back comes Murphy.
Tavion Hollingsworth, no 2 shots look the same. He has an array of moves.
Feeding the post, and he uses the left hand, does Muzinski.
Well, it's just too late. You can't allow him to catch it over the top because there is no help angle. All he did was catch that and drop it into the hoop. That's not on Williams, although he does need to front him or at least make that pass tougher.
Anderson thought about the 3. Savage will take the 3 and hit it.
So both teams with a lot more flow to their offense here in the early part of this second half.
Muzinski kicks it out to Scanlon, looking for that repost. Williams did a good job getting in front of him.
Here comes the help this time. Overhelped.
Kunkel got Anderson in the air. Kunkel stays with it. No. Benkert, no. Back comes Savage with the rebound. Wide open in the corner.
It's amazing what a couple of shots can do for a team in terms of energy.
Anderson is whistled for the foul as he swatted Tyler Scanlon.
Anderson has a key to the penthouse, and only he can go up there sometimes. Take a look at how high he elevates, and that is a sensational big league block. The fans are seeing the replay you just saw, and I'm going to guess that they don't agree with this call. And here's the play before, the easy throw over the top. And Scanlon misses that free throw.
Belmont wanted the goaltend.
Definitely was not goaltending, though. I didn't think it was a foul either.
Scanlon gets 1 for 2 from the line. Quickly back the other way, Justice rounding out Muzinski, the rebound. And here comes Kunkel with a full head of steam, and that one is blocked, no whistle. Savage is feeling it. Murphy the rebound. Kunkel trying to get him again. And Anderson certainly impacted that one.
The temerity to go at him 2 times in a row.
Now Anderson is fouled, going to the hoop. And that is what Josh Anderson delivers.
And the reason they want to goaltend is because they think that ball hit the backboard before he wiped it away. And here, this is pure goal to challenge Josh Anderson in transition. Again, he can go where you can't. But in fairness, Kunkel did not see Josh Anderson trailing him. If he had, he probably would have been better served to not try to put that up on the glass.
Josh Anderson has certainly led the resurgence from this crowd, along with Jared Savage hitting the threes.
You know, we compared him to a pilot, but he's more of an astronaut with those silver shoes he has on. Look at those. No double. Go to work, big fella. Easy money.
That's exactly what he does. Nick Muszynski. He's got 8 points to go along with 8 rebounds.
Just a sophomore. He is a terrific player. Can hurt you in a variety of ways. But he certainly can from 2 feet from the basket.
Muszynski, good defense there against Williams. Back comes Murphy.
Boy, has the pace picked up here in the second half for both teams.
Preseason All-OVC with a good dish to Scanlon, and he'll go back to the free throw line. 4 minutes gone by, even. 7-point lead for Belmont. (44-37) as Western Kentucky in the second half, 3 of 5 from 3 after shooting 1 for 12 from 3 in the first half. Next Saturday, more college hoops on Stadium. St. Mary's, really good year for the Gales, visiting Damon Stoudemire's Pacific Crew. You can catch that game at 10 Eastern on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game. I think I've got Pacific at St. Mary's later on this season on Stadium. We just saw a guy during the timeout trying to make a putt from the three-point line into this small opening for $1,000, and he's a lefty, and they gave him a right-handed putter.
Yeah, that's not fair, is it? So he was basically using the back of a putter.
Yeah, it's like putting. It's like punting with a blade of grass.
But he was about 90 feet from the target, though. Still, you blaming it all on the putter. Some of that was on the person putting, right?
He's behind the 8 ball before you.
Yeah, he never had a
Set up
chance.
to the putt.
He never had a chance.
Tate Pearson's in the game. Tyler Scanlon sits. Kunkel and Murphy getting set to check back in at the next whistle. Williams against Adelsberger.
Left it short. Wow. Golden opportunity right there.
Nice feed. Couldn't finish. Adelsberg cleans it up.
Jared Savage changed the first shot, but there was nobody there, and Adelsberger able to clean it up.
Justice surrounding out for 3. Back comes Ben Shepherd. Nick Hopkins, Benker. Savage up for the board, tips it to himself. An 11-point lead for Belmont. Justice has to have one of them. He's now 0 for 5 from 3. Got a foul on the rebound.
Justice needs to keep pulling that trigger. And they are getting good looks in transition, running to the three-point line in an open court area, which is where I feel Western's better served.
I'm sorry, no foul on the rebound, just ball went out of bounds. You got a foul on the inbounds pass on Ben Shepherd.
Pearson steps back out. Played just 3 minutes. Cameron Justice, number 5, with the ball. You mentioned has not been able to find the mark from the perimeter today.
Justice. And he is fouled by Kunkel. Kunkel averaging 19 a game, has 2 points in 13 minutes, 1 of 6 shooting.
Kunkel thinks he got that clean.
Slapped him right on the wrist.
I don't know. You think that was on the wrist? Really?
Yeah, it looked like he caught him on the wrist. And Justice rounding out on the first free throw.
All right, let's take a look from this angle to see if there's contact. You know, that was pretty, a lot of leather on that one.
You're right.
From that angle as
that
well,
angle
right?
looked clean.
Yeah. Cameron Justice just 2 for 9 from the field. 0 for 5 from downtown, and he missed a couple of free throws. Cameron Justice struggling a bit here tonight.
Kentucky missed a basketball back in 2015, a transfer from IUPUI after spending 2 years at Vanderbilt, and Kunkel has his first 2 of the half. Western Kentucky had cut it to 5. Now they trail by 13.
Good job of staying down on the shot plate.
Anderson a bit out of control. He's got the moves to get to the hoop. Tough time finishing. Uzinski working against Horton. Savage came in, ripped it away. Uzinski gets it back. Savage again.
Foul. They didn't call.
Ball ends up in the hands of Scanlon, who misses for 3.
Savage absolutely hammered Uzinski, and now a foul right in front of us.
It's a blocking foul on Grayson Murphy. That's going to be his second.
And the reason is because Murphy didn't give Hollingsworth a step. When he catches it, he's got to get a full step, and Grayson Murphy planted himself a little bit too close and got called with that blocking foul as a result.
Casey Alexander, after 16 years as an assistant coach, he played at Belmont. Now in his first year as head coach, as Hollingsworth goes all the way to the hoop. Made it look easy.
Casey Alexander was at Lipscomb. Lipscomb and Liberty were really battling all season long last year in that A-Sun. But on the play before, Hollingsworth got himself all the way to the rim. And, you know, you have to show, but Murphy has to do a better job of recovering, because the person that showed, Uzinski, had to get back to his man eventually. And when he did, he opened it up for Hollingsworth.
Boy, was that nifty from Grayson Murphy.
So many weapons on this team. And again, we talked about at the top, not having Kevin McLean, and
Matt Horton. That's some way to tie your career high with 4 points.
That was spectacular. In traffic. A great delivery again. Hollingsworth and Horton rolling to the rim, and a 2-hand flush, absorbing the contact. No matter. Matt Horton converts and they have a chance for the 3-point play. But, you know, getting back to Belmont, not having Dylan Windler, NBA draft pick of the Cavs. And then you look at McLean, a first-team all-conference player. You know, this team won 27 games last year and won a NCAA tournament game as well. But they are still a pretty solid OVC team.
Officials having a discussion. Will this be Western Kentucky basketball or a Belmont ball?
They're going to put 20 on the shot clock, so that means Belmont's going to retain possession. And now they reset it to a full 30. Interesting.
Kunkel has yet to get going. Savage is right on him. No good from Hopkins. Back comes Hollingsworth. Trying to cut it to single digits. Hollingsworth can't do it.
They needed it. Still plenty of time, though. You want to keep pushing the issue and getting more possessions by playing a little bit faster, which Western has done here. They've done a great job here in the second half.
Beautiful 2-man game.
It really was. They ran this Western Kentucky team in circles on that possession.
Uzinski's in double figures with 10. Scanlon has a game-high 14 for Belmont. Justice Savage hangs and hits. Western Kentucky team was a game away from getting to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 13 last year. Muzinski has 2 more easy ones, falling to Old Dominion in the Conference USA Championship game a year ago.
Yeah, they were in it the year before against Marshall as well. So they've been close in the now 4th season with Coach Stansbury, but they haven't been able to seal that deal. And they were again picked to win it all, but again, that was before Charles Bassey went out with that season-ending injury.
I think also the thought that Kenny Cooper, who would have been their lead point guard, the thought was that he'd have his waiver granted, the transfer waiver granted from Lipscomb, but inexplicably, 2 days after the Bassey injury, the transfer waiver was denied.
And it was denied as really not inexplicably. Lipscomb didn't support it, which surprises me.
Which is inexplicable.
Yeah, it's inexplicable that they didn't support it. I agree with that.
Not an NCAA thing. That was Lipscomb. Horton, an offensive rebound, second chance opportunity. Shot clock resets to 20. Justice rounded out. Wow. That kind of night for Justice, 2 for 11.
Really was a tough break, and Horton got in his way. His own teammate was kind of disrupted that shot. I'm surprised he ended up pulling the trigger.
Hopkins going one-on-one. And that's going to be a foul on Western Kentucky going to break. Well, 2-man game. Muzinski, he's got 12, and it's a 12-point lead. Nearly midway through this second half, Belmont a 56-44 lead. The Beach Ball Classic continues on Monday, 3:30 Eastern, live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Some of the best boys high school teams in the country compete in the final 2 days of the tournament. You can catch all the action on Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game. Some Duke commits, Illinois and others, some of the best prospects in the country in Myrtle Beach, and that tournament started in the 80s by Dan D'Antoni, the head coach at Marshall here in Conference USA. Hall of Fame high school coach in South Carolina. Some greats have played in that one. Rasheed Wallace, Kenny Anderson, Jabari Parker. As Hopkins gets 1 of 2 from the free throw line, the foul was on Rawls, his first.
And Dan D'Antoni lost a lot of productivity with his 2 guards. Elmore and Birch graduating.
How about Carson Williams? Putting the defender on his back and would not be denied.
Despite what happens tonight, Western is trying to figure out how to play without Charles Bassey. They're doing it a variety of ways, primarily as a small unit. They're going to have 5 guys on the floor, no one bigger than 6'7", 6'6", you know, most of the season. But I think they can get away with that in Conference USA. There's not a lot of guys on other teams in this conference, none of other teams that have a Charles Bassey in their lineup.
There's a look at Bassey, who suffered a tibial plateau fracture in his left leg. Upper shin, knee joint area, had surgery, about 6 to 9 months.
Because the 2-3 zone, they worked for them pretty well in that first half.
Scanlon, a pretty turnaround. He's got a game-high 16.
Yeah, he's terrific. Just a solid player at both ends. Always in the right place defensively, and he gets you buckets if you leave him open.
He's coming off 20 against Alabama in the 21-point loss, the most lopsided loss for Belmont in 4 years.
Yeah, they didn't look like themselves. Early on in the first half, they actually had the lead close to halftime, but the wheels kind of fell off in that second half down in Alabama.
that was on Kunkel. That's his 4th.
Just not been his afternoon, his evening so far. Think about the foul trouble now. He'll have to go sit down again. Just 2 of 7 from the field, 4 points in just 18 minutes.
Michael Benkert will come in and Kunkel will sit. Kunkel's a freshman playing behind Dylan Windler and Kevin McLean. Played 9 minutes per game. Some ankle injuries, concussions. He broke his nose against Lipscomb earlier this year.
That's right, he's playing with a mask. I believe the last time I saw him in Murfreesboro versus Middle Tennessee.
Grew up about just over 3 hours from here as Hopkins gets into the lane with a little floater. He's got 11. Stansbury pleading with his guys to keep moving. 8.5 to go here in the second half. Off the glass, Hollingsworth. He's missed a lot of those tonight in close. Hopkins stands at just 6 feet. Swings it over to Scanlon, has Savage on him. Listow. Out of bounds, it'll remain Bruins basketball. Stansbury's team playing their 4th Ohio Valley Conference game of the season. They opened with 3 straight wins, Tennessee Tech, Austin Peay, and then at Eastern Kentucky. Benkert for 3.
But none of those teams were picked to win the OVC. Belmont was picked to win it, and with good reason. They have dominated that conference since moving over in 2013. They have been nothing short of exceptional.
The season high 3 threes for Benkert. Belmont's won 19 plus the last 14 years, one of 9 schools to do that. With 4 on the shot clock. Rawls around and out. Savage keeps it alive.
Here. Yep.
And that will be Western Kentucky basketball when we come back. It's a 15-point lead for Belmont. That ties their largest lead. 9 for 22 from 3. That's been the difference. It's a 15-point lead. Belmont has tied its largest lead of the evening. 64-49, 7:21 to go here in the second half. And Belmont's been all over the place. In the month of November, 8,449 miles. Wow.
That's enough to get a first-class upgrade in your next flight, huh?
They're at Illinois State. They played at Boston College, St. Louis, Eastern Washington. That's the big one. Belmont to Eastern Washington. Lost 3 games on the road there. All close games. None more than 7 points.
Until that Alabama game last weekend. Savage slicing to the rim. They need more of that. They got to get to the rim, but more importantly, they need stops now. They have to stop the bleeding at this end. Belmont here in the second half has really got the shots that they've wanted this whole half.
Hopkins, no. Benkert keeps it alive, and that'll force Rick Stansbury to pull his hair out. Benkert again for 3. He's got 4 of them.
You give them a second chance, they will make you pay.
3 for 6 from 3 in this second half. Anderson, give it a shot.
Not his game, but pretty good looking 3, just didn't go.
Got 4 for 20 from behind the arc. Quick math, that's just 20%.
That's some quick math you got there without a calculator. Michael Benkert has been pretty solid from downtown.
Kaczynski in the corner, Scanlon. He's 5 for 9. Make it 5 for 10 as the shot clock expires.
He was up against it, though.
And he poked it away.
Again, right place, right time, though, right? His court awareness as a grad transfer.
Benkert, while you're up, fill her up again. 5 for 7 from 3. He's got 15. Anderson, a lot of rotation.
Benkert came into today shooting just 23.7%.
He's got a career high 15 points now. As Justice comes away with it. Blocking foul along the baseline on Hopkins.
And Josh Anderson has been much more assertive at the offensive end the last few possessions. Think about the last 2 games for him. He had 15 and 10, 15 points and then 10 points. So he's a guy that's, his last couple of games, averaging about 12.5, only averaging 7 on the season.
An 80% free throw shooter, misses the free throw. He's 2 for 4 there tonight.
We talked to Coach Stansbury, we talked about no margin of error. This right here is no margin. They need every possession to be quality at both ends. They need stops and they need really good shots if they're going to get back into this one with just 4:30 to play.
5 on the shot clock. Murphy. Savage took it away. Murphy got it back, missed it, and got his own rebound and put it home.
A big part of that miss is that it still hit the rim, which reset the shot clock. And that allowed him to cash it in the second time.
Justice. Finally.
There is justice in this building.
His first 3 in 6 attempts. It's a 72-57 lead for Belmont. 4:10 to go in the second half. Well, the students aren't back in school until the end of January, and those two have a long way to go before their students here at Western Kentucky. A 72-57 lead for the visitors. And here's how it worked with Grayson Murphy. Now watch the shot clock, too.
Fortuitous bounce, he gets it, but right here, you see, with 1 second before he's able to get that shot up, but it hits the rim. And once it hit the rim, you see it went to 0, but the reset allowed that putback to take place. Had that shot not hit the rim with 1 second, it would have been a shot clock violation, and that putback would not have counted. But it's been that kind of night for Belmont. They have caught many breaks like that. Touchdown.
Like Joe Burrow on the pass.
Touchdown with pass interference.
And there is a flag on the play. And Tavion Hollingsworth is whistled for it.
Tavion gets posted on here, let's be honest. Kunkel puts him in the rim. Tavion didn't think that Adam Kunkel was going to dunk that ball, or he probably wouldn't have jumped.
Stansbury in his 4th season. He's been a head coach for now 18 years. He's trying to get back to the NCAA tournament the first time since 2009 with Mississippi State. And Hollingsworth again missing in close.
He's had some close encounters. We talked about the last couple of years getting into that Conference USA championship game. Lost to Old Dominion last year and Marshall this year. 2 years ago, I should say.
They're under 4-minute timeout with 3:52 to go. Casey Alexander's team in the driver's seat on the road. Belmont leads by 18, 75-57. Got the second highest scoring offense in college basketball at 81.5 points per game. believe Eastern Washington leads the nation in scoring. And here's our play of the game. A beautiful pass, catch, and dunk. Adam Kunkel.
Adam Kunkel, he didn't get the extra point on that touchdown. He got the exclamation point on that touchdown pass. That was a great job of inverting their guards and going long because there was pressure on the basketball to inbound the ball. So instead of trying to inbound in the backcourt, they threw the touchdown pass complete, and they got the three-point play as well.
Justice around a Savage screen. Wide on the three. Uzinski with his 11th rebound. 5 in double figures for Belmont. Hopkins, an air ball. Murphy a rebound. He's in double figures with 10 rebounds to go along with his 11 points.
You talked about him being a great rebounder from the guard position. 8 a game. You see why.
Scanlon had to put it up well short on the three. Uzinski with a career-high 12 rebounds to go along with his 12 points. Savage misses the three. That's out of bounds off of Murphy. Scanlon's got 16. Benkert with 15 on 5 of 8 from 3. Murphy 11, 10, 6 assists. Hopkins 11 points, 6 boards. Two in double figures for Western Kentucky, Savage and Anderson, with 10 and 11 points respectively. Justice, Williams, and he'll go to the line.
Great pass by Justice to Williams. In traffic, nice pocket pass, and Williams was able to finish. But it's just not been their night at the defensive end. Belmont has had their way here, particularly in the second half, getting any shot they want.
Mentioned that Belmont had 19+ wins in the last 14 years. In each of the last 14 years, one of 9 teams to do it. They joined Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Louisville, Michigan State, Carolina, all blue bloods. Gonzaga's a blue blood at this point.
They are.
BYU, who we'll have on our air on Stadium as Williams has a nice block against Uzinski coming up towards the end of January. San Diego State is the other. As Murphy comes up with the steal. San Diego State will be on our air on Facebook on New Year's Day with Doug Gottlieb and Jeff Goodman. Another steal. Kunkel wants none of it as Justice lays it in.
Wise to let him go with the lead as it is. You want that clock going. You don't want to give out free points.
Savage fouls Murphy.
You see Coach Stansberry, you think about how he felt when Charles Bassey said he was coming back to Western. Everyone had him going to the NBA. In fact, he did put his name in the hat, but he was allowed to come back because he didn't get an agent. He had to be ecstatic once he got him back. And then to lose a player of that caliber for the year, that is a crushing blow for any team when you take their #1 scorer and rebounder and shot blocker out of the lineup.
Kunkel, throw it in reverse. Williams for 3. And Murphy has his 11th rebound.
And Belmont is a really, really good OVC team that we talked about, but this is about where Conference USA is in terms of there's going to be some teams equally as good as Belmont that will come in here. Western's got their work cut out for them, but it's not an insurmountable deficit. I think they're going to figure some things out and how to play without Charles Bassey, where they're going to get their points, tighten some things up on defense, and they will be competitive here in Conference USA. I'm not predicting that they'll win it anymore like we all thought in the preseason, but still going to be a team in the upper tier of Conference USA, in my opinion.
That was a beautiful pass the other way from Murphy to Scanlon. He's got a game high 18. Hollingsworth takes it away. Scanlon trying to poke it away from him.
It's turned into an open gym game, hasn't it?
This is going to be Belmont's 7th straight win over Western Kentucky. Just 65 minutes separate the two schools on I-65. Belmont has won this game each of the last 6 years. Won again in 2000 to make it 7 straight as Kunkel and Anderson have some words for each other.
There's going to be a shot clock violation, I believe, if they don't get this shot off, which they won't.
Western Kentucky homebound with 1.5, and they'll suffer their first home loss of the season. As Tyler Scanlon is our player of the game with 18 points on 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3 to go along with 5 rebounds. Could have chosen Muzinski 12 and 12, Murphy 11, 11 and 7.
Bankert as well, yeah. 5 for 8
had
from downtown.
5 threes. And Belmont controlled this one from start to finish. A 79-62 win over Western Kentucky to improve to 9-4 on the season. Western Kentucky falls to 7-5. For my broadcast partner, Tim Scarborough, I'm Noah Kozlov saying good night from Bowling Green, Kentucky. The final score, Belmont 79, Western Kentucky 62. For more live games, replays of classic games, and daily original studio programming, visit watchstadium.com or search Stadium in your local channel guide. 79-62 Belmont. Hope y'all enjoy your holidays. Happy New Year from Bowling Green, Kentucky.